Okay, we are diving into the psychology of money, which is honestly one of the most important books you could ever read about finance. Over the next few minutes, we're going to walk through some of its biggest ideas, insights that might just completely change how you think about wealth, how you spend, and what freedom really means. So, let's get into it.
Right off the bat, let's tackle the biggest confusion there is when it comes to money. You know what I'm talking about. We see the flashy car, the expensive watch, the huge house, and we think, wow, that person's rich. But here's the thing. True wealth is almost always invisible. It's not the stuff you see them buying. It's the assets you don't see, the money that's quietly growing for them in the background. And that, right there, leads us straight into our first major lesson. This trap of confusing being rich with being wealthy. They are not at all the same thing, and thinking they are is probably the fastest way to make sure you never build any real wealth yourself.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of what we think we want. We say, I want to be a millionaire, but what we're often picturing is the lifestyle of spending $1 million. It's that urge to show everyone that you have money to burn, and that exact impulse is what stops most people from ever getting wealthy in the first place.
Just think about it for a second. As soon as we get a little more income, what happens? So many of us fall right into this trap. We upgrade to the latest phone, we take on a bigger car payment than we should, and of course, we post it all on social media to signal that we've made it. But what is that really? It's a treadmill. You're just spending money to show other people you have money, which is the literal opposite of building wealth.
So if the goal isn't just to buy more and more stuff, then what is the point? Well, this brings us to money's real superpower, and it has absolutely nothing to do with luxury. It's about buying the one thing you can never get back: your time.
This might just be the best definition of wealth, period. It's not some number in your bank account. Real wealth is waking up in the morning and getting to say, I can do whatever I want today. That feeling, that control over your own time, that's the ultimate freedom. And that's what we should really be aiming for.
And this quote just brilliantly explains why that control is so crucial. I mean, you can have your absolute dream job, right? But if you have zero control over your schedule, when you work, how you work, that dream can start to feel like a prison pretty fast. True wealth is what hands you the keys to that prison door.
All right, let's move on to the next big idea. You know, a lot of people actually manage to get rich. Just think about lottery winners or one-hit wonders. But you know what's rare? People who stay wealthy. And that's because getting money and keeping money are two completely different skills. Getting it often takes on risk and optimism. Keeping it, that takes humility and a bit of fear that you could lose it all.
Here's a perfect, simple example of how that works. Let's say you put your money in a safe deposit that earns 4%. You feel smart, right? It's a guaranteed return. But you're completely ignoring the fact that inflation, the rate at which prices are rising, is at 5%. So, every single year, your money is silently losing 1% of its actual buying power. You feel safe, but you're actually getting poorer.
Now, on the complete other side of that, you've got people taking on way too much risk. You know, folks who throw all of their life savings into some super volatile meme coin. And yeah, sure, you could get rich overnight. You could also lose every single penny. Is that worth it? The constant stress, the anxiety, checking your phone every 5 minutes. A good investment should never, ever cost you your peace of mind.
Okay, this next part is where things get really, really practical. When you boil it all down, so much of our financial life is just one simple battle. The battle between what you truly need and what your ego wants.
Seriously, I want you to try this. Take a piece of paper and list out everything you genuinely want in life. A comfortable home, the ability to travel, time for your hobbies. Then do some rough math on what that would actually cost. You know what you'll probably find? Your enough number is way, way smaller than you think. And once you know that number, it's so liberating. It lets you step off that endless, soul-crushing treadmill of just chasing more.
You know, we're all taught that savings is just income minus expenses, but that's not quite right. The real formula, the one that actually matters, is this. Savings equals your income minus your ego. Think about it. It's not your basic needs that are stopping you from saving. It's your desire to impress other people. And we all know what ego spending looks like, right? It's that brand new smartphone when your old one works just fine. It's the designer sweater with the giant logo on it. It's any purchase you make mostly just to signal your status to other people. If you can learn to tame that impulse, that is the single biggest lever you can pull to build wealth. The less you care about what other people think of your stuff, the richer you'll actually become.
So let's pull all of this together. If you only remember one single thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this one.
This is the idea that ties everything else together. At the end of the day, being good with money isn't a hard science. It's a soft skill. It has very little to do with how smart you are or how complex your spreadsheets are. It's all about psychology. It's about your behavior, your patience, your humility. How you handle greed and fear is infinitely more important than how good you are at math.
And that leaves me with one final question for you to think about. All of us grow up with these stories about money that we get from our parents or from society. Maybe it's the idea that you have to show off your success, or that being in debt is just a normal part of life. So, what's one story about money that you need to unlearn to start building real, lasting wealth? Really think about it.